F16状态是否正常？
正常。
31401是否正常？正常。16辆编组的风信号呢，从200多米变成400多米，它特别长嘛，而且它是金色，网友给起的，叫大长金。我是大长金的总体设计师郭耀。我77年12月出生的，那个时候呢，中国处于百业待兴的时代，所有的行业呢，都在开始慢慢的变化。我父亲他有一天呢，在农村干活的时候，看见天上的老鹰在飞，然后呢，他就给我姐起名叫郭鹰，我就叫郭耀。鹰耀都是凶猛的鸟嘛。所以他也是希望我就像老鹰一样，能自由的在天空翱翔。2002年的时候呢，那时候我学的是无线电专业。08年的时候，在乌克兰的一个中餐馆，我们在看新闻的时候，突然就是中国的京津城际开通，中国第一条高速铁路。那时候我感觉特别震撼，我说特别兴奋，我说中国也有高铁了，而且速度那么快的高铁，挺自豪的。是那时候我就很向往。先讨论一下减重的方案。毕业后回国，主要负责高速动车组的研发设计工作。动车组的这速度的原因，对于普通老百姓来说，关注的就是安全。那么这个安全呢，是需要我们在设计过程中，在我们生产过程中，我们时刻要警醒的。通信质量呢，它影响到整个列车的这个数据的传输。就是说，我们自己在家里上网，天天卡，我们谁也受不了。我列车安全性要求很高的产品呢，我们就更要保证它的通信质量。复兴号上呢，我们增加了以太网，开始反复测。怎么测它都过不了。前导流罩这块呢，它打开之后，它人特别不好钻进去。1个礼拜钻了1-20次，反复在里边去做线头，剪了再做，做了再剪，找了好几个车进行验证，终于解决这个问题。大大小小各式各样的零部件太多了，10几万呢。大的问题你能看见的问题，有可能有时候还不是问题，但是未知的不易去查找的这些问题，对于我来说是最大的困难。你就得紧绷着一根弦儿，每一次细微的这改动都是验证、推翻、验证、推翻、再验证、再推翻的过程，无数次反反复复，直到万无一失。在以后呢，采用更加先进的技术去实现我们以前或者现在不敢想的或者不敢做的，认为不可能实现的事情，这就是我的未来的梦想。
On Wednesday, a BBC Syria producer announced to the world that the hospital scene in a BBC story in the wake of a suspected chemical attack in Syria last April was fake. Riyam Dalati was referring to the alleged chemical gas attack in the town of Doma, 20 kilometers northeast of Damascus, which the BBC claimed inflicted damage. In the story, children appeared to be treated for the attack. A lack of doctors appeared to add to their suffering and the urgency of the situation. After months of investigation, Dalati came forth to overturn his own work. He tweeted that he can prove without a doubt that the Doma hospital scene was staged. No fatalities occurred in the hospital, he said. All the activists and people he spoke to were in other areas. One of the people who filmed the scene was a doctor affiliated with Jaish al-Islam, an internationally recognized terrorist group. From his description, it seems that he was tricked into believing what happened in the hospital at the time, although no one can be absolutely sure. As a veteran journalist, it's his basic duty to check the authenticity of his information and the background of his sources before publishing the story, especially when it comes to such an important subject. The story has helped mislead the public, creating the impression that chemical weapons were indeed used against innocent women and children. 7 days later, the US, together with its allies France and the UK, bombed what they believed were chemical weapons facilities in Syria, hours before UN inspectors were due to arrive for an official investigation. Dalati's announcement is not a surprise to many who have independent judgment. Shortly after the Doma incident, journalists from China and Russia went to the site to try to find out the truth. According to Russia 24, the boy featured in the BBC story had gone to the hospital because strangers asked him to. The father of the boy said there was no abnormal attack at the time. A Chinese journalist investigated the hospital and found many questions unanswered. According to a hospital staff, no suffocation cases caused by poisoning were treated in the hospital on the day of the alleged attack. These important questions were seldom asked in the Western media. Dalati's announcement on Wednesday is unlikely to receive much attention either. The BBC reacted by saying his post reflected his personal view and that the attack did indeed take place. But if the hospital scene was staged, what proof supports this claim? The BBC should ask the civilians who were wounded in the ensuing airstrikes if they accept that this was the reason why they got hurt, not to mention the sovereignty of Syria that has been trampled upon and the material damages caused. This was not the first time and will not be the last time that unauthenticated information or even lies were published by some journalists or media organizations in the West, which were used to advance the Western narrative. The Uyghur woman by the name of Mirgru Tursun, who lied about her life in China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, is just another example. After being proven to be false, the CNN story based on her account is still there, quoted and requoted to serve the basis of other stories criticizing China. Her lies were even used to make the case for relevant legislation by the US Congress. I once said the Western media normally don't lie, only tell the partial truth. In this case, I'm going to correct myself. If a staged story is repeated as if it's a true story, it can be as damaging as lying. To err is human, but to err again and again is human tragedy. To admit having erred and to correct the wrongdoing is the only way to start rebuilding the credibility of the Western media.